and welcome back to the match. After a two-week international break, La Liga returns with a home game for Real Madrid against Celta Vigo at the Bernabeu on Saturday evening. With me to look ahead to that match and look back at some of the international fixtures that we've had over the past couple of weeks is Tim Stannard from 442 magazine. Tim, welcome along.
Thank you, very nice to be here.
Not the best international break from a Madridista perspective.
No, it's made things very interesting. The Spanish, of course, always leap upon this as the FIFA virus, what happens when international players go abroad for their teams and come back injured. Madrid have got off lightly perhaps over the last couple of years, but it all came at the same time, of course. We had Marcelo, who's going to be out up to 3 months with the famous metatarsal, the Beckham injury, and then Quentrao, and then the third, you could say, left back, Alvaro Arbeloa, limping off during that Spain game. So it's an awful lot of bad luck at the same time. But of course, these things can happen for club and country, but not normally at the same time. You lose maybe one player, two players, but three unlucky.
Well, in the same position as well. That's really what's the worst thing about this.
Well, and this is unusual because in the bars and cafes in Madrid now, you're actually talking tactics, which is quite unusual.
Yes.
And normally, obviously, sometimes people, is it been Benzema or Higuain? How many is Ronaldo going to score? It's not often you get actually the people talking about, okay, who could play in this left-back position? So it's quite interesting in that sense. It's quite refreshing to hear that. And yeah, it has been the debate of the 5 or 6 options that Real Madrid have got to play left-back, and there's a lot of chatter who it's going to be.
No, there certainly is. Injuries very much atop of the agenda then for Real Madrid. Let's hear from Xavi Alonso, who's been speaking about the injuries that have befallen Real Madrid.
La verdad es que es impresionante, ¿no? Increíble que en tan solo 7 días hayan caído los 3. Muy mala suerte y bueno, pues habrá que buscar soluciones. El míster seguro que ya está dándole vueltas a la cabeza para poder buscar una solución lo mejor posible, empezando el sábado, luego el miércoles vamos a Alemania, o sea que bueno, sabemos que esto no para. Bueno, hoy en día sí que el calendario está muy apretado. Cuando estás al primer nivel, en la élite, jugando Champions, jugando la Liga, ahora empezamos la Copa, partidos de selecciones, pues al final estás jugando casi 60, 70 partidos por temporada, ¿no? Y al final, durante el camino, alguna lesión o algún percance vas a tener, ¿no? Por lo tanto, pues sí que de cara al futuro, pues un nuevo planteamiento, alguna solución para que esté un poquito más mejor distribuido el calendario, pues yo creo que sería muy beneficioso para el fútbol, para el espectáculo y para los futbolistas, por supuesto.
Xavi Alonso speaking there about, amongst other things, some of the injuries that have befallen Real Madrid. So 3 injuries to different fullbacks. What are the options then for Jose Mourinho to play in that position?
Well, over the past few days, I've come up with 27 options, although you probably want me to do just 2 or 3, perhaps.
Yeah, just a couple.
The first one is like for like by going through down to the Castilla team, and you've got 2 options there. Nacho, the Castilla captain, who's a full centre-back who can play full-back.
And has played for Real Madrid.
Yeah, and has played for Real Madrid a couple of seasons ago against Valencia, and he's fine. Or Casado, the natural left-back. You have possibility of Sergio Ramos moving to the left. He played there a few years ago under Juan de Ramos at a Barcelona game and did very well, playing out of position for a game, and SEN filling in at right-back. I'm not sure that's going to happen, though. I think he's going to go for Raúl Albiol at left-back, and that perhaps is another option there. So in that way, you're moving Ramos to right-back. You've got Varane and Pepe, I think, are going to be the other centre-back. So you've got 3 in their correct positions. If you do put, for example, SEN at right-back and Ramos at left-back, you've got 2 out of position. And Albiol at left-back is a strong possibility.
I guess it is fortunate, I mean, it's highly unfortunate to lose 3 full-backs and 2, first-choice left-backs at one time. But if it's going to be any position on the pitch, I suppose it's better to be left-back than a centre-back or a goalkeeper or a centre-forward. Trying to put a positive slant on things.
I'd say goalkeeper would have been a bit of an issue if you got Iker Casillas for a long time. But the thing is, a Real Madrid squad is very, very large. So if you take out, if you had an injury to a striker, for example, Higuain, you've got Benzema to come in. You can even have Ronaldo playing up front. So you've got 3 or 4 options there, or Morata. So it's, these things are going to happen. It's almost like what Barcelona have been suffering as well. This is why it's very interesting for La Liga. Barcelona are still without 3 of their back 4 in Alves, Piqué, Puyol, and before the Clásico we would say, talking about what options they got. Now it's Real Madrid's turn, and it makes things interesting in La Liga when you do have the big 2, I wouldn't say weaker, but having to move things around a bit.
Well, they certainly have had to, or will have to, juggle things about. Let's take a look at who Tim thinks is going to start for Real Madrid on Saturday evening against Celta Vigo at the Santiago Bernabeu. And you've gone for a slightly left field choice at left back.
Yeah, I think, well, he's an international class defender, Raul Albiol, and he has played fullback, prefers to play right back, but there's no reason why he couldn't play there. Hasn't got an awful lot of pace, but we're talking about the game coming up this weekend against Celta. Borussia Dortmund could be a very different matter. I think in midfield, Sami Khedira, he didn't play the midweek game, he'll be back for that one. Ozil's in good form at the moment. Xabi Alonso, despite playing some 70, 80 games, as he says, he'll be back there. Callejón, I think, on the right. I don't think we're going to see Di Maria. It's an awfully tough week that himself and Higuain had in those matches against Uruguay and of course against Chile. And Benzema looked very, very strong against France, so I think he's going to be the striker on Saturday.
Interesting to see that you've gone for Özil there instead of Kaká or Modric, but as you said, Özil is in good form. He did score for Germany as well in the international break.
Yeah, I think it's just a case with Özil, just giving him continuity and just getting the confidence up and getting that form going.
Absolutely right. Let's take a look at Celta Vigo then, who are Real Madrid's opponents on Saturday evening. Newly promoted after 5 years in the Segunda. They've been strong at home, but they've lost every match away so far.
Yeah, and as you can see on those images there, it isn't always sunny in Spain. This is from the north of Spain, basically. It's a fine club who've been away for 5 years. Very nearly went bankrupt down in the second division. They've clawed their way back, and they're now in the Primera, and they're doing okay. They've won 3 out of their 7 games. They haven't drawn one yet. They're a very entertaining side to watch, and they're going to be playing Real Madrid on the counter-attack, and we've heard them talking during the week about that. They like to suck the teams in, and they like to hit them. They've got some good players there, like Augusto Fernandez is worth looking out for. Michael Kroendelli, who's a Danish player who's joined over the summer, they actually spent about €5 million. Look out for him on the left wing, so they do play with these 2 wingers, and they've got some good choices in attack. Iogo Aspas, thank you very much. And look out for Chu Young Park as well, who's on loan from Arsenal, first South Korean La Liga to score. He's a huge star there, so they have got talent there, and I think they're going to come to the Bernabeu, I think, and really give it a go.
You don't think they're going to come back and sort of park the bus, as it were?
It's not really Celta style. I said they haven't drawn a single game. They're not a pragmatic side. I think they're going to come here and, rather than sort of roll over like perhaps Depor did eventually, they're going to keep on going, I think, at Real Madrid. And they're going to look at the fullback situation and think this is an opportunity and really hammer that left-hand flank for Real Madrid.
OK, let's take a look then at some of the games that are coming up in the Primera División ahead of this match day number 8, Malaga against Valladolid.
A home win for Malaga on this one.
Real Madrid against Celta Vigo at the Bernabeu.
Well, I'm going to go for a whopping game of 4-2 to Real Madrid. We're going to see a bit of an epic.
Oh, that sounds good to me. Valencia against Athletic Bilbao is a very attractive match on paper.
Loser of that game might lose their manager. I think Valencia are going to sneak it.
Deportivo hosting Barcelona.
Saw Depor a couple of weeks ago against Rayo. Awful. Barcelona to win that one.
On Sunday lunchtime, Getafe hosting Levante.
Getafe probably 1-0 is their thing at the moment.
Rayo up in Barcelona to take on bottom of the table Espanyol.
Espanyol have to win this, and this is the one they will win.
Granada hosting Zaragoza.
Ooh. I'm going to go for a draw on this one.
Oh, that sounds about right. Betis are in Pamplona to take on Osasuna.
Osasuna slowly getting back into form. I think they're going to pick up a home win there.
Atletico Madrid flying high, unbeaten away in San Sebastian at Real Sociedad.
Real Sociedad unbeaten at home, very strong at home, home win.
Wow, OK. And the Monday night encounter is Sevilla at home to Mallorca.
Sevilla 2-0 on that one.
OK, shall we move on and take a look at the table? And no, we won't take a look at the table, but I will tell you that Real Madrid currently in 5th place, and if they win, they can move up a couple of places. So fingers crossed for a victory. You've gone for a 4-2 win for Real Madrid. Give us a couple of scorers.
It's going to be 2 braces: Cristiano Ronaldo and Karim Benzema.
Very, very confident indeed. That's all we've got time for on the match this week from Tim and myself. It's adios.